Hi guys, so today we're going to be making garlic and Gouda salmon burgers and homemade french fries with a white sauce to go along with this. Alright, so we got us some good looking food here to create this amazing dish. Of course you're going to need your greens, your scallions, cilantro, lettuce. You're definitely going to need your salmon, and use as much garlic as you want since it is going to be a main flavor. I chose to throw in some avocado as well, which you don't have to do. Tomato, Gouda. We also have our potatoes for our homemade french fries, and then I'm also just repurposing some focaccia bread, but choose to use any bread you want. Okay, so I just picked up 2 fresh pieces of salmon from my local grocery store. You can choose to use frozen salmon or fresh salmon, doesn't matter. You are going to need a cutting board, so and a sharp knife, of course, as well. So I did need to take some time to go ahead and sharpen my knife with a knife sharpener. I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. It's pretty important for this recipe just because we're going to be cutting raw salmon, which before it's cooked can be a little tough. So we do need it to be able to cut right through just like butter. And I am going to go ahead and show you how well it went through. To satisfy them is never my intention. Alright, so you can see clearly how easy that knife is going through. So sharpening the knife is something that you definitely want to be able to do if your knife can get dull, which usually knives do. Anyway, you want to go ahead and cube that salmon. Just get it into little bite-sized pieces because we're all going to need it for our next step. Alright, this is your final result. Go ahead and set that salmon aside. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our veggies next. Alright, go ahead and start cutting up your greens. That's going to be your scallions and your cilantro, and then also your garlic. I did use more than the usual amount of garlic just because one of the main flavors in our dish is going to be garlic today. Okay, now you can give your hands a rest. Bring out your blender. Keep in mind you do not need to cut the veggies or the garlic too perfectly because we are going to be blending it. And then also don't over blend because you don't want it to turn too liquidy to where you cannot form patties when we're done. If you're having issues like I was blending everything properly, go ahead and add about a tablespoon of water, but don't add any more than that. Alright, this next step is going to be optional. Feel free to add about a half cup of breadcrumbs if your mixture is a little liquidy. Alright, let me introduce the seasonings that we're going to be using. Here we have Amazing Burger, which I usually use for my burgers, which is absolutely amazing. We also have garlic, of course, we're going to need more of that. Cayenne pepper if you like spice. And then we have ground paprika, like I say, it adds color. And then, of course, we also have our season all. And I realized that I may not use measurements, but other people do. So I will go ahead and give you measurements as well. Add about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of season all or whatever salty seasoning you have. Okay, so moving on to our cayenne pepper for spice. Add about 1 teaspoon. I added about 1 teaspoon. If you want more spice, go ahead and add 2 teaspoons. For paprika, I went with about 1.5 teaspoons. Again, it does not have any flavor really, so you can either choose to add it or not. Again, it's just for color. Garlic, I probably did also 1.5 teaspoons. You can choose to add more since it is going to be a main flavor of the dish. For your burger seasoning, add about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of that if you have it. We're only working with teaspoons for this recipe because we're not working with a lot of food. Also, I failed to include that when I was blending, I did go ahead and add an egg. As you can see, it's kind of easy for me to form these patties, and it's because of the egg and also because of the breadcrumbs that we included. So I just placed a whole potato and a half of a potato. We're going to start working with the half of a potato. You're going to want to cut that half into a half. And then just cut as you see I'm cutting here. Right down the middle. We're just going to form some French fries here. And here's your final result. Go ahead and throw it into water so that they don't discolor. All right, a pretty simple process here. We're just cutting our veggies for our burger. All right, so you do need enough oil to cover your fries when you're deep frying. You only need a little bit of oil to cover the pan for the patties. My patties cooked about 7 to 8 minutes on each side, and here is a final result. It looks so good. Of course, if you want a darker color, you can go ahead and cook longer. All right, this white sauce is amazing. It can be used for anything. I also use it especially for my tacos. Half a cup of sour cream, 1 tablespoon of water, as much or as little cilantro as you want, that is up to you, and about 2 teaspoons of salt. And there you have it. You can use it for your sandwich, or you can use it for your fries, or you can use it for both. I used it for my French fries because personally I love sauce on my fries. And yeah, there you have it, your homemade gourmet salmon burger. It was absolutely delicious. I will be making it again in the future. But for now, to salmon burgers, I say you've been cooked.